Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So welcome to day 1 of your 5-day Rise and Shine Yoga Challenge. So this is intended for you guys to do as soon as you get up out of bed, but it's okay if you don't do it then. It's still suitable for any time of day, but it's just a kind of an easy practice to stretch and energize the body. So today we're starting with it's just a gentle vinyasa, and then throughout the week we'll have different themes working on different parts of the body. But we'll just start this Monday with a nice easy practice. So we're going to get started today by sitting down cross-legged. So just find a comfortable position. And we're just going to start to ground ourselves today onto our mat. So just close the eyes and then bring the hands either into the lap, or you can put them on your knees, face up or face down, whichever you prefer this morning. So even being sat in this position early in the morning can still be strenuous. So if at any point you need to just shake out the legs a little bit, then just do so and then just come back into it when you feel ready to. So on your next inhale, we're going to lower the right hand down to the mat, sweep up the left hand nice and high, drawing it as tall as you can and trying to draw that heart open up towards the ceiling or the sky. Then we'll go to the other side, so lowering the left hand down to the mat, sweeping the right hand up and over, and again turning that heart space up towards the sky, just going to get us a little bit deeper. Come back through centre, come back to lower the right hand down to the mat, sweeping that left hand up, maybe drawing the heart space open even more, stretching that hand even higher, getting right into that side body. And then over to the left side again, sweeping that right hand all the way up nice and high. And then coming back through centre. We're just going to walk the fingertips forward and lower the heart down. Just feeling a deeper opening through the hips here. And then walk the body back up to centre. Then we'll just roll the shoulders down the back of the spine, bring the fingertips to the mat behind you. Again, really pushing that heart space forward and drawing the shoulder blades together behind you. Then we're going to round the arms all the way, so we're pushing our shoulder blades towards the back, and the arms are coming forward, coming into a cat position here in our seated stretch. Then as we come up, we're going to open our arms out to cactus, opening through that heart space. And then exhale, round the back again, coming into that cat. And then we'll cactus the arms one more time. Then we're just going to draw them up nice and tall, catch the right wrist with the left hand, draw the body up taller and just twist a little bit to the left. And then come back up through centre and just switch over the hands. Pull that left hand a little bit over to the right. And then just bring the arms down, and then we'll meet on our hands and knees. So we're going to start by just warming up the wrists, which are often neglected, so this can feel very awkward when you start doing it, especially first thing in the day, so just take it easy. So we're going to turn our fingertips to face us, and then you can just rock backwards and forwards, just feeling the front of the forearms open. If it gets too much, just come and sit back on the heels and just have a little break and come back to it when you feel ready to. Then we're going to flip the hands over. The fingertips are still pointing towards us, but we're just on the back of our hands this time. Then we're going to turn the fingertips to face one another and just do little circles with the body. And then making sure you go the other way around. And then we're just going to sit back on the heels and come to a toe stretch. So again, this can be very uncomfortable. So again, just take it slowly. Over time, this gets a lot easier, but the first few times it feels like agony. So if you need to release, then please do, and just come back into it. And then we'll come back to our hands and knees. And we're just going to start to come to some cat-cows. So dropping the belly down, the heart space comes up, the shoulder blades roll away from the ears. Then we round the back, tuck the chin to the chest, suck the belly button all the way up to the back of the spine, pushing firmly through all 10 fingers. Then dip the belly down, roll the shoulder blades back, maybe making the movement a little bit bigger this time. And then round the back, pulling the belly button up nice and high to the spine. One more, dip that belly down, roll the shoulder blades away. This time as we come to our cat, we're going to tuck the toes under and lift the knees up off the floor just to engage that core. So round the back, lift the toes up, pushing firmly through the hands. Then lowering the knees down as we come back to our cow position, head comes up. And then release, we'll just sway side to side. Then we're going to bring this right knee into our chest. So pull it in nice and close, rounding that back again. And then we're going to step the leg forward, coming into our low lunge, so the arms come up nice and high. So you don't need to be super low in this low lunge as it's the first one, but you want to be drawing your feet towards one another and then maybe sink the hips a little bit lower. Then we're going to come back to our half split, so the fingertips come down to the floor, come onto the heel of the right foot. If your fingertips can't reach, then you can bring blocks or you can just stay upright, just as long as you can feel it opening down the back of the hamstring. So the toes are pointing up towards the sky here. Shift that body forward as we lift the arms up nice and high, coming into our low lunge. Then we'll lower the hands down to the mat. Just come back through hands and knees, so bringing that right foot to meet the left. Then we'll step the left foot in front, and then again, find your stability, and then bring the arms up nice and high into your low lunge. Again, pulling the knees together or the feet together, and it's going to give you a little bit more stability. Then we're going to shift the hips back, find the fingertips to come down to the mat, come onto the heel of the left foot, and then you can start to lower the body down towards the left knee. Or you can stay upright, but as long as you feel opening down the back of the hamstring. Then we'll come forward, pushing into the hips, lifting the hands up. Then we'll bring the hands down to the mat to frame the left foot, and we're going to tuck the back toes under, lift up the right knee, bring the left foot to meet the right in a plank, and then we're going to wave ourselves back to downward facing dog. So when we wave, we're coming into a back bend first, so dipping the belly down, pushing the tailbone up, and then we push back to our downward facing dog, so coming through a spinal wave here to transition. So as it is our first downward facing dog, and probably early in the morning for you, then just take a few moments to walk the legs out, just really feeling the backs of the legs opening up and just doing anything that feels nice for you. So from our downward dog, we're going to walk really slowly, our feet to our hands. So I'd like to come really high up on your toes and just tiptoe them until they reach your hands at the top of the mat. Let the body hang down, and then you can just sway side to side here. Maybe catching opposite elbows with each hand, and then just again sway side to side, maybe bending into one knee and the other, just opening up Then we're all going to bring our left hand down to the mat, lift the right hand up nice and high, bending deeply into the left knee. And then we'll switch over, bending the right knee this time, and the right hand comes down to the mat and the left hand comes up nice and high. Then we'll lower both hands down to the mat again. We're going to come to a halfway lift, so we're going to bring our hands to our shins, roll the shoulder blades away from the ears and push the heart forward. Then we'll lower the body back down over the legs. Come back to halfway lift, so bringing the hands to the shins, rolling the shoulder blades away from the ears, pushing that heart nice and forward. Then lower back down. Just going to let the hands go completely floppy and then just roll the body up super slowly until you get up to standing and the head and neck is coming last. Shoulder blades are rolling down the spine and we'll bring the hands to heart center. So we're going to work through some sun salutations here. So we're going to bring our toes to touch, our heels are slightly away. We're going to inhale the hands up nice and high. We're going to catch the left hand around the right wrist, draw up nice and tall and pull ourselves over to the left. So again, coming into the side stretches that we did at the beginning in the seated position. Coming back through center, just switching over the grip of the hands, lifting up that left hand nice and high, pulling yourself over to the right side. Come back through center, draw the arms up nice and tall, keeping the tailbone tucked under so not coming into a back bend, and then let the arms go down all the way down to the ground. Come to halfway lifts, the hands are coming to the shins, the heart's coming forward. Lower the hands down to the mat. Then we're going to step the right foot back to our low lunge, the arms come up, so just as we did before. Then we're going to transition straight into our half split, so seeing if we can do it in one movement, flowing the arms back until they find the mat, and then the left foot is coming up towards the sky, and the body's coming forward towards the left knee. Lift the body back up to low lunge. Then we're going to lower the hands down to the mat. Step back to a downward facing dog. We're going to shift the body weight forward to plank, so rolling the body, waving it until we get to our plank position. And then shifting it all the way back to downward facing dog. Hips come up nice and high. Then we're going to walk our feet to meet our hands, so nice and slowly, just tiptoeing them to get there. And then we'll do that on the other side, so the left foot's going back to our low lunge, lowering that left knee down, and then the arms come up nice and high. Then seeing if in one movement you can shift the hips back, come onto the right heel. Right toes are drawing up towards the sky and the heart's coming down towards the right knee. Shift the body weight forward, come back to our low lunge. Lower the hands down to the mat. Tuck the back toes under. We'll transition straight back to plank this time, so right comes to meet the left in our plank. We're going to come to an upward facing dog variation, so we're just going to dip the hips down. As we do, the shoulders roll away from the ears, and we're coming into our upward facing dog. So if it's too much, you can lower the thighs onto the mat. Then we're going to see if we can shift back to downward facing dog. So we're keeping this back bend, pushing the tailbone up nice and high, bending into the knees, pushing through the hands until we come into our downward facing dog. I'm going to do this again, shift the body weight forward, waving, waving, waving until we get into our plank. This time we're going to lower the knees, the chest and the chin. Push the feet away and the heart comes forward up to our Cobra. So the shoulder blades roll down away from the ears and the heart space comes up. Then we're going to lower the body all the way down to the mat. Just bring the forearms in front of our head and just shift the hips from side to side. Then we'll bring the fingertips to the outside edges of the mat. And then we're going to push back up to our Cobra. So keep our feet together, push firmly through the hands, bring the torso up, the shoulder blades roll away from the ears. So it's kind of a Cobra variation. Then we'll lower the body back down, and we'll do this again. Push firmly through the fingertips, push the body weight up, roll the shoulder blades away from the ears, and the torso comes up nice and high. Maybe dropping the head back. Then we'll lower the body all the way down to the mat. Bring the hands close to the body. Pick the hips up, and the hips are just going to find the heels, and we're going to come down to our child's pose, so allowing the forehead to rest on the mat, or the chin if you have a little bit more space in the upper back. Then in our child's pose, we're going to come up onto the fingertips and walk the fingertips over to the left side, and then allow the heart space to come down, so again opening up through the side body here. Then come back up onto the fingertips and walk them all the way over to the right side. Lower the heart space down into that space, maybe finding the mat with the forehead or the chin. Then we'll come back through centre. Again, allowing that heart to come down one more time. Then we'll push through the legs, and then we're going to come up onto our knees, actually. So we're going to work through some little hip dips. I'm not really sure what the real name is for them, but we're going to draw the arms up nice and high, and then the hips are just going down to the left side as the arms come back, and then we'll lift the hands up, and then we're dropping the hips down to the right side and then pushing up again. Hopefully you're not on a slope, so it might be a bit easier for you. Going down to the left, and then the arms come up and then down to the right side without falling, and then coming back up. And then we'll just draw the arms down. As we draw the arms down, we're going to cactus the arms like we did at the start, and then round the back, pushing the shoulder blades away. And then we'll just release, bring the hands down to the mat, tuck the toes under, and we'll come to downward facing dog. So just taking a little breather here, and then we're going to meet at the top of the mat, so you can choose to walk, or this time you can jump. So bending the knees, look between the hands, come to the top, come to a forward fold, and then we'll draw the body all the way up, bringing the arms up nice and high all the way up to the sky, and we'll just bring them back down through heart center. So we're all going to start in our mountain pose, so toes touching here. Actually, we're going to come to a malasana, so widen your stance a little bit. The toes are pointing to the front outside edges of the mat. Bring the hands to heart center, and we're just going to let the body come down to the mat, so bending into the knees. The slower you do it, the more you're going to work the glutes. Up to you though, because it's just supposed to be a stretch and energize. So we're going to bring the hands to heart center, and you can use the elbows against the knees to push, and it's just going to deepen the opening a little bit more. So you can either stay static, or you can move side to side, or if this is too much, then you can come up onto the toes, but it makes it a little bit more strengthening. Then we're going to push on with our right elbow against the right knee, and then just open up the left hand. And then come back through center, and then just push against the left knee, opening up that right hand. And then come back through center. And then we're just going to come to our ragdoll, so you can bring the hands to the floor, push the hips up high, and then heel toe the feet in closer towards one another, about hip width distance. Just hang down again, catching opposite elbows with each hand, and just letting the backs of the legs open up a little bit more. Then we're going to lower the hands down to the mat, and we're going to step back to plank, so right then left or the other way around. Then we're going to lower our bodies all the way down to the mat, so you're welcome to lower the knees, or you can just tuck the elbows in, lower all the way down. We're going to bring our hands behind our back. Keep the feet stuck together if they will go together, otherwise you can have them a little bit separated. And then we're just going to lift the torso up, pulling the hands away. and then release them. Just bring the hands in front of your head and you can just wiggle the hips from side to side. Then we're going to come onto our forearms. We're going to just come to Sphinx posture here. So pushing that heart space forward, the shoulder blades are rolling away from the ears. Then we're just going to bend that left knee, reach around for it with the left hand and pull it towards our bum. So it's okay if you're up here, that's no problem. If you are close, then you can try and pull the foot closer to the bum, pushing into this right hand just to increase the stretch a little bit. And then release, and then just switch the legs over, draw that right foot towards you, sweep round for it with the right hand and pull it in nice and close, pushing into that left hand if you want to increase the stretch a little bit more. We'll release that leg, just bring the hands out in front, bring them closer to the torso, push through the hips, come back to child's pose. And then when you're ready, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. So pushing up, maybe coming up high up onto the toes, pushing the tailbone higher, and then you can start to push the heels closer down to the mat. Then we're going to lift the right leg up and open the hip here. Then from our three-leg dog, we're going to slowly pull that knee into our chest as we transition to low lunge, lowering that left knee down, lifting the hands up nice and high. Then we're going to transition straight back to our half split, so the hands come down to the mat, pulling that right foot up nice and high. Come back briefly through low lunge, and then we're just going to come to our easy twist, so lowering that left hand down to the mat, lifting the right hand up nice and high, maybe lifting that left knee off. Then we'll lower that right hand down to the mat to frame the right foot, step back to plank. Then we'll shift back to downward facing dog. Lift up the left leg nice and high, bending the knee, opening up through the hip flexor. Then we're transitioning nice and slowly to our low lunge, so pulling that left knee close into the chest, engaging the core, stepping in between the hands, lowering that back knee, lifting the hands up nice and high. Shift the hips back, come to our half split. The left toes are coming up towards the sky and the torso is coming down towards the left foot. Lift the body up through our low lunge just briefly, then we'll lower the right hand down to the mat. Lift the left hand up high, maybe picking up that right knee. Then we'll lower the left hand down to the mat, step back to plank, wave the body back to downward facing dog. And then we're going to make our way to seated. So you're welcome to jump, or you can just come to it however you please. So if you're going to jump, bend through the knees, look between the hands. Just bring the bum to the mat and let the legs go out nice and long in front. So we're going to come to our seated forward fold. So keeping the feet both flexed, this is going to engage the legs. Draw the torso up nice and high, lift the arms up high, and then allow the body to come forward. So you can bend the knees as much as you need to here, or you can just come to a passive version, just allowing the arms to come all the way down to the mat. Then when you're ready, just slowly bringing the torso up. We're just going to pull the feet towards the body and come to a Badakanasana. So I'll turn and face you here. So the feet are coming together. We'll grow the body up nice and tall, and then we'll really relax into it. So just allowing the head to fall wherever it comes to. And then slowly rolling the body up. And we're just going to finish off in a narrow leg child's pose. So bring the knees together and just let the arms go out long beside the body and the forehead to come to the mat. So this is going to be our final relaxation posture today. So if you would like to take a Shavasana instead, then please do. Then when you're ready, we'll come to a seated position just to close up the practice. So we'll just take one last releasing breath all together. So we'll inhale nice and deep through the nose and sigh it all out through the mouth. So inhale, hands up to the sky. And exhale. Namaste, everyone. Well done for completing day 1 of your Rise and Shine yoga mini series. So hopefully see you on the mat for the rest of the series, and hopefully you're feeling a little bit more refreshed and energized for your day ahead. So yeah, as always, if you aren't already, please press subscribe. And yeah, see you on the mat tomorrow. Bye.